How have you been doing during this COVID-19? Mostly working from home?
I've been having fun. It's I see as the good challenge to improve myself and open up my or widen my horizon. As in this thing, I see as a good opportunity that I will never ever face it again in my life, hopefully. Yeah, and I think my parents' generation never faced it as well. So I've been learning and adjusting, particularly in the education, whereby initially we thought this COVID-19 is only the healthcare issue. Now the healthcare issue has impact every industry, not only in the healthcare itself. So I see COVID-19 as the good catalyst for the Thai education revolution.
And your school, Arkki, actually,
Yes.
there must be lots of children's activity, but right now, has it totally stopped? How do you adapt to COVID-19?
Well, I see that is a new dimension of business. And initially we only do the hands-on education for the future. Actually, it's good as well that we prepare, our education is to prepare the kids for the future. And with the COVID-19 coming up, it actually fast forward the digital disruption to be faster. Predictably, World Economic Forum has predicted that by 2030, about 70% of the jobs will be replaced by machine, and the jobs that we see in 10 years' time would be the things that we never know it before, never actually imagined that this job would be like. And actually, COVID-19 fast forwarded. Now we see lots of innovations, lots of creations from businesses just to survive. If you can see, like, for example, the tour company cannot really survive in this situation. So they adjust themselves. Like, there's one tour company that I see is the good innovation, that they used to do this food tour for Chinese customers. Now Chinese customers don't come, and the tuk-tuk, the three-wheelers, they used to take the customers to go around Yaowarat for the food and eat. And now all of them don't have any jobs. So they have two options. First, close the company and everyone don't have any payment. Second is basically creating or innovating some new business model. So what they did is that they used tuk-tuk that don't have any customers to be more like the Grab delivery. So there's a big gap between using the motorbike to be Grab bike delivery, and that's for the small products. And for the bigger products, they use the pickup truck or bigger cars. But of course, there's a particular gap in this market that for the product that's not that big and not that small, they can use tuk-tuk, and it's cheaper. So they launch like tuk-tuk X. So you see lots of innovation and creation during this COVID, and it really shows that whatever you learn in the classroom cannot use to solve the problem during COVID.
I see. Now your school, the Arkki School of Creative Education, you focuses on creativity for children, right? So how do you think this pandemic can help contribute to further, the importance of the people should give to creativity in teaching children?
Yes, people talk more about 21st century skills, and people talk more not only what the students study, because we used to focus on the knowledge-based education, whereby the teacher keep teaching the knowledge, the student listens. But with COVID, you can see that all the schools start to do online learning. So the teachers start to use the virtual classroom, either use Zoom, Microsoft Teams, or Google Classroom to deliver the classes, even at normal schools, not only universities. And what we see is basically the teacher cannot teach in the old pedagogy or old methods anymore, whereby the teacher keep talking about knowledge. Initially, the student can sit and listen in the classroom. But now when you are boring, then the student can just close the laptop and walk away, or they don't really study. So, so now the teacher have to adjust the teaching pedagogy from the knowledge-based education to be experience-based education, whereby you provide experience with the students, you provide the active learning with the students, so you involve students more into activities in learning, which is good because initially we focus on knowledge, now we focus on skills. So that's why I say it's a good catalyst for the Thai education revolution, if the teacher can adjust and have to adjust. So for Arkki itself, we already focus on the hands-on and experience learning. So even though now we shift from offline to online, the kids still engage during the online classes very much. As in the feedback has been positive, as in the kids ask for more classes, but we couldn't deliver more. We usually, but once the kids are bored at home every day, then they took a class with us once a week. The feedback we get from parents is basically, can they do more, like more than once a week? So now we started with two classes a week already, because the kids start to have experience-based learning. So I think that's how I think the new education should go towards the teaching pedagogy like this.
Can you give us some example of experience-based learning? Because right now, what I heard of is online learning is quite difficult for young kids because they cannot concentrate purely online.
I can give example. For example, our last two classes, actually, we teach them about experience. And when you say experience and active learning, you have to involve their life into it. For example, we would say, well, we give them the questions that they should build. Okay, let's decide a house that can prevent them from COVID-19. Then instead of teaching like COVID-19 can be resolved by soap, washing hands, alcohol gel, and all those things, and the kids listen and just remember. So we say, okay, with this situation, with this COVID-19, with this alcohol and gels and all those things, can you design your own house? Or, for example, we teach about magnet. Usually, if you teach about magnet, you would teach about the magnet has two sides. The magnets only attract to the same, to the metals. Instead of like using the lecture base, basically, we tell them like, okay, this is magnet. We send a box to them because they need some equipments to study, whereby at home they don't have. So we send a box to them with a magnet wand, like the magnet stick. And then we said, okay, now I give you 5 minutes. You run around your house, use this magnet to go and tap on everything. And then you see what attracts them, what doesn't attract them.
And
then you learn
online. All
yes,
this
to online.
happen online.
Yes. And then because they get involvement, they get to go out, check everything around their house, then they come back, then they show me like, okay, this is the thing that sticks on the magnet, and now they know this is metal, now they know this is plastic. So instead of using the lecture base, then you use experience base. Then that's how you can attract them online. Doing online doesn't mean the kids have to look at the monitor all the time. What we do is basically they don't really look at the monitors all the time. Majority of the time they look at their work that they built instead of like looking at the monitor, but the teacher becomes instructors. That's the value of the skills education and the experience-based education. And the skills would last into them longer than the knowledge, because if you use knowledge, eventually Google will be your teacher.
Could get the online education is good only for families or children that have access to internet, right? And you yourself,
Yes.
I understand that you have expressed concern at the gap between the children who can have access to modern technology and those who don't. So what would be your advice to government authorities concerned so that to bridge the gap and to make sure that if we go online for education, then there would be equal access for children from all walks of life. Yeah.
Well, I would say it was a good initiative that the government take care of the parents who are out of jobs, that they get 5,000 baht from the Social Security. But to be further on, for those 5,000 baht people who take it, they would have the kids and children at home. These people, even though you give them the tablets, the laptops, or internet access for free, for example, because people keep talking about the laptops, internet, and computer, all those tablets that you have. But it's not enough for this kind of family whereby the environment is not, the house is not ready for them to study, because they don't have the space, they don't have the table, it's very noisy, they cannot do online, or even for somebody whose parents lost the job. It means the children may have to quit the schools to take more of the home responsibilities. And I believe that after COVID, there may be some students not going back to schools because of these financial problems to help with the family. So, and the sad thing is basically COVID already widened the gap in the society. And when education gap is widened, it would go back to the society gap, that the more the education gap is widened, in the future, the society gap will be even wider, because education, which it used to be social mobility, whereby people can change the society level from education. Now it's not the case anymore.
So how is this situation of COVID-19 can be turning point for future education of Thailand? What should Ministry of Education do more in terms of policy to cope with the future?
Well, I think Ministry of Education has been handling quite okay so far, that they have started to do lots of online educations. Actually, they have recorded lots of basic educations in the clips since a few days ago already. So I think so far, for the short term, they can use that clips with the tablets that they're gonna give for the basic education providing first. But for the future, I think it's not about the clips or the tablets. It's about first the curriculum change, whereby now they already have the direction to change. It's called competency-based curriculum, which is a good thing that Ministry of Education has been doing, but they have not talked much about it. But it's moving towards 21st century skills. They already drafted the new curriculum, but I think to prepare the teachers to be ready for that, then is a big challenge. And but with the technology, we may not need that many teachers. I would say it's COVID give opportunity for Thai education. That first, teacher used to work lots of have lots of additional operations work with the paper base. Now with COVID, everything is online. So after COVID, the teacher don't have to do any paper based thing anymore. So it solves a lot of issues for teachers to have more time focusing on teaching. Second, for the schools that already initially there's lots of schools that don't have enough teacher. So with the new platform of Ministry of Education, many schools would have teachers, and we wouldn't need that many teachers. We can use like very good one performing teachers to every schools if they have the good system and providing. But in the future, it's not about online, I would say online learning, there's many types. People didn't use much of it. First, we use the clips, which is, I wouldn't say it's learning, it's the studying. There's a big difference between learning and studying. So it's math learning, like clips. Second, they use the live interactive classes. We call like สอนสดสอนแห้ง as in clips or live interaction. And this is still the, how we say, is the mass production education. In the future, if we use technology in a better way, whereby Ministry of Education can adapt it, is to use the AI and big data to personalize the education. For example, if Kun Thepthai and Kun Natha watch Netflix or even use Facebook, you see that your Facebook and your Netflix monitor screen are not the same. It's personalized to your own interest, based on your past past experience and past usage. So they use AI to customize your usage and your future consumption, because they know you better than you know yourself. For education, we can use technology to do it as well, because each children are not the same.
So Kun get in the post-COVID period, and we hope that this will come very soon, right? So what plan do you have for yourself and for your school? Any immediate plan in the aftermath of the coronavirus?
We try out online for the first time, and actually we tried it before Arkki Finland doing it, and we learned that online has another dimension of businesses, whereby we can provide it anywhere the customer is. We used to have only customers in Bangkok. Now we have customers in Chiang Mai, in Phuket, in Khon Kaen, in Karasin, in Ubon Ratchathani, Udon Thani, in Chonburi, in Sukhothai. And recently, like yesterday, we just started the class for the customer in Singapore. So this is actually the new dimension, new perspective of the business in terms of education, that somebody says globalization has stopped or has decreased because of COVID, but I see another angle that it can increase globalization, and that helps providing good education throughout the rural area as well.